Good morning, everyone. We, the students of Central University, Kerala, pursuing our Masters in Botany in Department of Plant Science. So today, we are here with a research article analysis on the topic Smaller Climatic Niche Shifts in Invasive than Non-Invasive Alien and Species, which is published by Nature Communications. And the authors of this article are Olivia K, Sebastien Ollier, and Cleo Bertelsmeier. I'm Karan SP, and my team members are Amita K and Aishwarya EK.
Myself, Amita K, and I'm here to start the introduction. So, the invasive alien species are those species brought to new places or habitat. It can seriously mess up the balance of nature or the ecosystem. We all know that the ants are really good at invading new places, and some examples of the well-known invasive ant species are yellow crazy ant, red imported fire ant, Argentine ant, and all. And they causes significant ecological and economic damage in their introduced ranges. So it is important to figure out the reasons that contributes to their success.
The recent research challenges the notion that invasive ant species are better at adapting to new climates. The study indicates that invasive ants shows a smaller niche shift than non-invasive species, emphasizing the importance of considering various factors in understanding invasiveness. Niche shift occurs when a species adapts to new environmental conditions, often seen in invasive species introduced to new different areas. Recognizing this shift is crucial for predicting their spread and crafting effective management strategies.
The aim of the study is to investigate the niche shifts of invasive and non-invasive alien ant species and their potential implications for predicting the spread of invasive species. By quantifying niche shifts of these species, the researchers hope to gain a better understanding of the factors that contribute to their success and develop more accurate predictive methods for the models they spread. And the findings of this study is also important for the implications in understanding the mechanisms of biological investigations and developing effective management strategies to prevent or mitigate their negative impacts. So this highlights the need for a more nuanced understanding of the factors that contribute to invasiveness. And here the information can be used to develop more effective management strategies for invasive species, which can help us to prevent the mitigate and the negative effects on native biodiversity and ecosystem function.
So now we can move on to the methodology part. The first part under methodology is distribution data. Data for 241 ant species expanding beyond native ranges were compiled from the AntMaps database. It provides a reliable source of information on distribution of ant species. Ant species in native and non-native ranges were identified using published literature, considering both natural and human-introduced areas. Inter-occurrences were removed from the data to ensure accuracy and enhance reliability. Nearest neighbor distance method was used to address sampling bias, and to reduce the errors, they excluded the points which is less than or equal to 0.02 units, and this provided a more accurate distribution representation.
The second part of the methodology is climate data. The World Climate Global Climate Database provided high-resolution climate data for all 82 ant species in the study, serving as an ideal resource. To ensure data accuracy, duplicate records within the same climate grid cells were removed, preventing overrepresentation and obtaining a more accurate species distribution representation. Climate data was used to analyze niche shift between the native and non-native habitats. Shift between the native and non-native habitats, revealing how species adapt to new environments. This helped to compare the invasive and non-invasive species, identifying the factors influencing invasiveness. The third part is niche shift analysis. Niche shift were quantified for 82 ant species using different aspects of niche. Shift between the native and non-native niches. Niche overlap was calculated using the Sconner's D. Expansion into the novel climates was calculated as a percentage of non-native niche extending beyond the native niche. Native range and niche size were also considered into the analysis.
Dealing with the fourth part, that is niche range and niche size. So here we can categorize into three things. First one is impact of native range and niche size. So here we are trying to understand the native range and niche size emerge as crucial factors for determining how species adapt to new environmental conditions. Second one is invasive versus non-invasive alien species. Here it states that or suggests that non-invasive alien species might be better adapted and more capable of adjusting to new environments. Moving on to the third one, occurrence points and research accuracy. The number of occurrences per species did not affect the accuracy of the results. So this finding suggests that the reliability of the study, suggesting the results can be used to develop more accurate and predictive models for invasive species. Moving on to the statistical test, here we have comparative analysis, impact on occurrence numbers, and the insights of niche shift. In comparative analysis, it suggests that the statistical tests which were used to compare niche shifts between the invasive and non-invasive alien ant species. Here, this approach provides insights into the mechanisms driving the spread of invasive species and contributing to a more accurate understanding than the impact of occurrence numbers. That is, the study helps in identifying that the results accuracy is induced in crucial finding and boosting the reliability of the statistical analysis, supporting the development of effective strategies for managing invasive species. And the last one is insights into niche shifts. By employing this statistical test, the researchers gained greater insights into the factors influencing niche shifts, particularly the role of native range and niche size. The methodology contributes to a nuanced understanding of how species adapt to changing environmental factors. Now let's discuss the results with the pictorial representation. Regarding this figure 1, it shows the shift in the climatic niche and geographical distribution between the native and non-native species of ant. We are going to discuss about the 4 different ant species. Those are Tetromorium bicarinatum, Strumicmanis margaritae, Amblyophonia australis, and Monomorium parvolis. So this figure is divided into 4 panels, as you can see, A, B, C, and D. From A, C, and D, we can conclude that the expansion into novel climates is low, suggesting that the species has not significantly expanded beyond its range in the native range. Yes, and moving on to B, which is different from others, that is, the expansion into novel climates is high, significantly expanded its range beyond its native range.
In figure 2, panel A compares the niche overlap between the IUCN classified invasive species and non-invasive alien species. The graph shows that the invasive species have a larger day overlap, which means that their climatic niche in the non-native range is more similar to their native range than non-invasive alien species. This finding challenges the assumption that invasive species are better at adapting to novel climates. Panel B compares the percentage of species that have expanded about 10% in their non-native range. The graph shows that there is no significant difference between the invasive and non-invasive alien species in terms of the percentage of species that have expanded about 10%. This suggests that the ability of expand into their novel climates is not a defining characteristics of invasive species.
Figure 3 shows that the effect of native range characteristics on the level of expansion and de-overlap between native and non-native ranges on different ant species. Subplot A shows that species with low expansion had a higher native spatial raw diversity. Subplot B shows that increasing native spatial raw diversity also led to higher de-overlap. Subplot C shows that there was a higher native hypervolume size for the low expansion group, and subplot D shows that with increasing native hypervolume size, de-overlap also increased. So finally, shedding light into a conclusion, the study discovered that non-invasive alien species are more prone to niche shifts than invasive ones, challenging the idea that invasive species are better at colonizing new climates. This suggests that non-invasive species are more adaptable to changing conditions.
Niche shifts were influenced by native range and niche size, showing smaller shift in invasive species. This implies they might be less adaptable to new environments, emphasizing the need to consider niche shift for predicting and managing invasive species threat.
The study found that the extent of niche shifts was impacted by native range and niche size, with smaller niche shifts abroad in the invasive species. This suggests that invasive species may be less adaptable to new environments and more constrained by the native range and niche size. So these results have implications for understanding the mechanisms of biological invasions and also the factors that contribute to the success of invasive species. Further research is needed to investigate the underlying mechanisms so that the niche shifts and their potential interaction with all other factors that contribute to the invasiveness of alien species. By understanding these mechanisms, we can develop more effective management strategies to mitigate the impact of invasive species on this ecosystem. So here at the brim of analyzing the research article, we would like to give some of our inferences which you have taken from this.
The first inference is insights for invasion management, and second one is challenge to climate adaptation assumption.
The third one is niche shift in invasion, and fourth is factors influencing the invasiveness.
And the last two, that is framework for investigating nature shifts and the policy implications for conserving. With this, we'll conclude our analysis. And thank you for patiently listening. If you have any doubts or questions, please do post in the comment section. Thank you.